I need to start knocking cars out. Looks awesome. Alright guys, finally back from SEMA. That was one hell of a week. Massive shout out to all the people that made that happen. That was just unforgettable every single day. For whatever weird reason, I noticed the videos from SEMA directly aren't doing so well in terms of views. So if you haven't watched those videos, I highly recommend them. They're very, very good. There's a lot of crazy stuff. The video just keeps getting more and more intense as it goes on, which is really, really cool. And it's definitely a good watch. But I don't know if it's just me or the algorithm working against me lately, but like the videos if you are enjoying them. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new. And if you already are subscribed, click the notification bell next to my name so you actually get notified when I post a video. I don't know if it's YouTube just once I'm in the 100K tier, it just shows me in the trash, but I haven't been doing so well lately in terms of the algorithm. So I'm trying to work pretty hard on getting myself back up on that consistent view count. It really mean a lot if you guys can help me out and go ahead and share the videos, like them, enjoy them, and comment down below. But we are going to get back on a regular schedule, pick up where we left off on this thing. So the rear end of it's pretty much done. We just got to make coilover mounts. But today in this video, we're going to go ahead and focus on the front end of the car, and more importantly, what's underneath here. So what we ended up deciding we're going to do is, you can see I pulled all the suspension off of this car already, as we're going to pull all the powder coated nice pretty stuff off of this car, swap it onto this one because we're getting better stuff for that car. All right, so the one thing that I realized after SEMA is we have a lot of crazy projects coming and a lot of stuff in the way. So I need to start knocking cars out. So what you'll probably notice in the upcoming videos is hopefully a lot more progress than video. What I mean by that is I might be just touching up a couple things instead of filming, like for instance I have to put the fuel tank in. We're going to basically just knock that out and start plumbing stuff and lead right into assembling the car, versus spending an entire video going over the plumbing and its installation. I'd rather just put the tank in and then start doing, you know, 9 other things in the same video. Because I know you guys have seen these cars apart for long enough, so I think it's better we just make videos on getting them back together and just kind of go with the flow until they run and drive. So we're gonna start cranking some stuff out on this thing, and the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and start with is getting the needle gun out and starting to clean those frames so we can go and paint some stuff. Alright, so if you haven't seen one of these already, this is called a needler. There's a bunch of different names for it. This is just one I got at Harbor Freight. Got a bunch of little needles in it. They all move around and make a bunch of noise, and basically what it'll do is this thing is covered in grease, so it's got thick grease all around it. So what I'll do with it is I'll basically run it across the side of this frame, get all of this crud that's really hard to reach out, so you don't have to spend nearly as much time actually like scrubbing this thing. It'll just all come off, so check it out. Alright, so once you did your needling, got all the heavy grease off, what I like to do is go ahead and grab a drill and a wire brush. And then you'll basically, you can see it looks like it's hammered pretty good, like it's got a bunch of little pits in it, which it kind of technically does. This is why you do this on frame and suspension stuff, not really on body parts. Really the needling is going to prevent the wire brush from getting clogged up with grease. So now I'll run over the whole thing and it'll look pretty much perfect, ready to paint. Alright, so you guys can see what we got in about 20 minutes. I think it took me about 20 minutes to do all that with filming it, so you can probably knock this out in about 15. And that's our finished product. It's ready for paint, so a lot nicer. Go with the needler, knock out all the heavy stuff in all the corners, come back with a coarse wire wheel, and then come back with a fine wire wheel. I kind of explained it out of order. And then that's really all you gotta do. And then we'll go ahead and spray some 2X, a pretty heavy coat, and I'll show you guys the good stuff that I recommend using on any chassis, because this stuff is super time efficient. Alright guys, so here's our good stuff. This is what I use on all my chassis stuff. Rust-Oleum 2X. It's paint and primer. It sprays pretty dang thick. Really, really good on chassis and suspension components. So instead of doing like a POR 15 or something like that, this is going to be way more effective. We've already prepped our surface. I just got to run some acetone across it just to make sure that we don't have any sort of residue. And this should lay pretty nicely. So let's go ahead and spray the color on it. Alright guys, got the one side painted. It came out pretty good actually. So this is about 25 minutes worth of work, and this is kind of the final product. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can obviously see the reflection of me holding my camera on the side of my frame. You can see my 2 fingers right there. We go right there. That's on the side of a frame. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Keep in mind, nobody's gonna crawl underneath your car and start staring at the side of your frame. That's not really a thing that people do. But I'd say it looks a hell of a lot better than it did, and it's a lot cheaper because I think these cans are like, what, $6 a piece, maybe something like that. You can go to your local hardware store. I think those I got at Home Depot. But yeah, super cheap. You can get a bunch of them. Go ahead and lay it out the whole frame. It's a paint and a primer, so you don't have to wait for it to cure, which is the biggest reason I use those over regular cans. And once that dries, it'll have this nice kind of semi-gloss, gloss kind of finish, and you can see what the before looked like over here. This is basically what we started with, this nice, dingy, gross looking frame that needed a lot of attention. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this upper arm off, do the same thing to this side, and start installing the control arms. Alright guys, while the paint's drying on this car, I'm gonna go ahead and take a step back and start working on this one. So what I gotta do is go ahead and pull the cover off, get this thing up in the air, and start diving into this car again, finally. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? Or wait, other way around. It'll be worth it, I promise. Alright guys, well you can see this stuff's been sitting for a long time, so it's very, very dirty. This is, everything you're seeing here is all powder coated. This is all powder coated stuff. But this is what happens when your car sits outside, which is one of the biggest reasons I didn't get myself into a shop or a garage space. So like the video and keep watching because we're almost there. We're getting closer every day. Alright guys, so if you didn't catch it, I am running a coilover on the other Galaxie, which now I'm transferring over. So what this is an Alden American coilover that they offer that bolts pretty much right in a Galaxie, which is actually pretty nice. So this is similar to the setup that's on a G-body, and it has a little mounting plate for the lower control arm, which will basically mount up right there. Run some bolts in it through the bottom like so. Should be pretty nice. These have been sitting outside, so they're not brand new anymore, but I just kind of wanted to overlay this product for you guys that are curious. And basically all you'll do is drop this thing in. You don't need a spring compressor or anything. You can also see this thing is adjustable. It's double adjustable. So if for whatever reason the car runs too stiff or too soft, I can go ahead and I can change that right there along with our spring rate. So basically all you got to do with this thing has a little bearing. You got to make sure it doesn't fall out. Trying to do this with one hand here is a little tricky, but you get the point. So this kind of whole thing goes together like in one big piece, and then the shock part mounts up top like normal. You don't have to compress the spring at all due to the heavier spring rate, and you can see this thing has a bearing on the bottom that allows the coil to adjust, so when you're actually, you know, adjusting the ride height or the spring tension, it'll allow the coil to spin so it's not like grinding on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap this in the car real quick and show you guys what it looks like all put together. And if you guys are curious about All American Suspension or anything else, they make a ton of different products for all sorts of different vehicles. We did come out with a kit for you Crown Vic guys, so if you have an F100 with a Crown Vic clip on it, we have a bolt-in kit for you guys. I ran it on my chassis and test fitted it and made all the initial measurements on that. So we have everything, spring rates, all that good stuff. They'll set you up, give them a call, they know what they're doing. Alright guys, so I figured I'd cover this. I don't think I did. So this whole disc brake setup, I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering what it is and where I got it. This is actually the factory setup off a 69 Galaxie. So it's basically just your generic hub front rotor, the whole spindle with the pads. It's all one big unit, and it pretty much bolts on. So I have the stock 64 frame, control arms, and then the coilovers right there, and then it just bolts onto the stock 69 spindle and hub assembly, basically is what this is. So if you can get your hands on a 69 Galaxie in a wrecking yard, pull the front spindles off it, everything seems to work so far. I mean, I'll update you as I go, but my buddy had this on his car and drove it around and then upgraded to Willwoods later, so I know it does work. The only thing that is a little bit interesting on this setup is down here you can see the gap I have right here. It's not actually like seating all the way. You can see there's like not a crazy amount of threads. Like I would want more threads than that showing. So I don't know, I might have to just hog that out a little bit so it seats a little bit closer. But yeah, I had to get rotors. I thought these were 68s. I was told they were 68s. And then of course I go to look up O'Reilly's to get new rotors. Nothing came up for 68. So I was like, what the heck's going on? Find out they're 69. Everything comes up. So you get a whole nother set of rotors for like $100, and then pads are like another, what, $40 or something like that. You have a whole brand new front brake assembly. So realistically, if you're not making 500 plus horsepower, there's no reason to get Willwood Bear or anything like that. I don't think you need it if you're not in that power realm racing or plan to be in that power realm or racing. So yeah, this should work pretty well. Alright guys, got pretty much the whole front suspension all dialed up. You can see how good this stuff looks. This has definitely been worth the work. You can see, look at that finish on the frame. I mean, that's like a mirror basically. And the powder coated arms and the coilovers, everything just looks awesome. And those new 69 spindles and disc brakes just make everything that much better. So I'm super stoked the way they came out. I got a couple more goodies like a powder coated sway bar and end links and stuff like that to put on. But I am going to go ahead and throw on all the old stuff back on this car, which is really kind of unfortunate, but it'll be worth it, I promise. So the simplest way I figured out to put this is basically beforehand, we were building like a $10,000 to $20,000 car, and then we had this as like a $5,000 car. Then this became the $10,000 to $20,000 car, and then this was a $20,000 to $30,000 car. Now we're into a $20,000 to $30,000 car, and then a $50,000+ car. Simplest way I can put it, so it'll make sense in the end, I promise. One thing I will say for this car is the parts that we have coming for this thing will blow your mind. Guys, both cars are pretty much back on the ground. The other ones I haven't put the wheels back on, but you can see this is back on its own weight. It's got all the crummy old junk back on it, but it does roll, and that's really all it needs to do, because we're pretty much going to redo the whole suspension on this car completely different. It'll be way better, way easier too, so don't worry about it. But this car's got its stance back. The front end's looking really good. Super stoked the way this all came out in the front end. Looks awesome. So yeah, I'm stoked with the way that came out. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Let me do think down in the comments below. A little shorter, chill video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to get right back on some of these projects, pick them back up today. So I'll see you guys then. Bye guys.